Hello everybody and welcome to Me Reacts, and today we are watching The Attack on Male Gamers Continues by Sydney Watson. Never seen this video before, never really watched your content, so really interested to see how this goes. And what is it? Yeah, I just recently got off work, so I'm a little scrambled right now. But we have opened the Tilt of 5 for our charity stream on Monday for the Wounded Warrior Project, which links for all that will be in the description below, or maybe in the comments, depending on which one's easiest. As always, links to the original video will be in the description below, and let's get on into this.
I don't know, in my opinion, I think that, I don't know, there's something a little bit childlike about it, a grown man to be playing games, and it is a huge, huge turn off for me, and I'm bloody glad my man doesn't play video games.
Oh my god, I am about ready. I'm about ready to go throw someone through a wall. We barely just started. This is gonna be a long one already. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
I don't have anything meaningful to say about this. I just want to tell her to shut up.
Yes. Yes. So much yes.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Menukora. And of course, by my company, Lions Tea Exchange. In addition to my regular wonderful flavors, I now have 3 new limited edition flavors that are now available on the site for pre-sale. I think they're all really good, but I am a huge fan of the peppermint white chocolate, but you guys seem to be really excited about the bourbon barrel chai. No surprises there. I also have these beautiful wooden gift boxes that are available too for pre-sale for the holiday season, or just generally if you want a beautiful box. And as you guys know, these are made here in the US of A, and the company that I work with plants a tree for every order placed, which honestly I think is pretty cool. I will link all of this in the description box if you would like to support my channel and my tea company. It all means a lot, and I love you guys very much. Okay, back to the video. Now, I know I'm slightly late to this conversation because it took place a couple weeks ago, but a lot of things were also happening during that time. Like the mystery of who is eating the cats.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
And I needed to
Every time I see that clip, it hurts. It physically hurts. Because some of you who are new around here may not know this, but I live in that city where this entire thing started. And I don't know who had that bright idea, and I still don't. And honestly, it still makes me really mad because it made my days of work really miserable because it brought out the worst in people, and because all the people were making all these other ideas, and it was an entire mess. And then we had to wear security everywhere, and it was not a good time. It was not a good time. Don't spread bullshit lies on the internet. Shit spreads like fire, and you're making people's lives more miserable and difficult, and you don't need to do that. Thank you.
to show you all my breakdancing prowess, okay?
You done.
Now, like I said, a few weeks
what's
ago,
up with
the
Regan?
conversation, or the debate, if you will, around men playing video games being unattractive was once again resurrected. This has been going on for quite some time, but periodically, someone, somewhere, for some reason, brings it back up. And every time this happens, it seems that people want to congregate around the idea that men playing video games is bad, and gaming is bad overall. Say the people who
What's so bad about playing video games? Like, I don't get it. Like, I play games in my downtime. Like, if I'm not recording videos, or if I'm not live on Twitch, you more realistically will probably find me somewhere playing Final Fantasy 14 or Guild Wars or Noita. You'll find me somewhere playing one of those games. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, let people enjoy things. Society and the world is kind of in a shell right now. Even more so. So let people enjoy things. It's not hard. It's not hard to not be an asshole. It's called just being nice. Or as my favorite song by Bowling for Soup, don't be a dick. It's not hard. But yeah, if you're on team playing video games is bad, I'd love to hear your take. I'd love to hear it. I like open discussion. Just keep it civil.
Who probably like crocheting or something. Depressingly, when I started looking for videos on this issue, I actually came across this bizarre trend on TikTok where women say that their men being happy while playing games gives them the ick. So there's that.
Shut up, kill yourself.
Just launch me to Jupiter at this point. Anyway, this time the conversation started when conservative commentator Liz Wheeler posted a graph of the hobbies women reportedly find the least attractive.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Playing video games, collecting figurines, magic tricks, online trolling, gambling, building model trains, taxidermy, comic book collecting, and bird watching. Okay, let me just go break this down here. Playing video games, I don't think that's an ick, because you know what that also means? You don't have to worry about them being outside at a bar somewhere cheating on you. Mind-blowing. But also, like, has anyone of you guys just, like, I don't know, asked to ever try playing a game? Or maybe tried playing something with your SO? You know, to experience it? And maybe you might enjoy it. Who knows? Collecting figurines? Go for it. Go for it. Hell, I collect I collect D&D books. I collect tarot cards. I collect dragon statues. Well, actually, I used to, but I had some in my collection when I moved. Magic tricks. But I mean, if you're good at it, actually, that can be pretty lucrative for parties and stuff, though. Online trolling, I kinda get. I'm not the biggest fan of the trolls. Gambling is, well, for me, it's an instant turn off. I have a gambling problem. I used to play Genshin Impact, and there was another game, I believe it was called Aura Kingdom, and I probably spent, like, I don't know, $4-5 before I realized it. So that's a big no for me. Like, just no. Building model trains. Honestly, with the amount of patience it takes to build anything like that, they are a keeper, because it means they have perseverance, they are patient, and they may or may not be trying again if something messes up and trying to build it. Taxidermy, found kind of weird, but I don't judge, not my thing. Comic book collecting? Can I read them? Please? Please? I'd love to read. I'd love to see comic book collections. Bird watching. Not how a lot of people have nowadays. But I do enjoy looking at the pictures. I do enjoy bird stuff, so yeah, I don't have a problem with most of this list. Like, what the heck?
At the top of the list was playing video games, followed by collecting figurines, magic tricks, and online trolling. But apparently, we all love a good bird watcher. So that's a win for the birdophiles. I have absolutely no idea what bird enthusiasts are called. Birder. Well, at least that's memorable. I guess that's an improvement on what the train people are called.
Alright.
Hootie tooters? Hooter tooters? This graph, which obviously is not based on real evidence, was posted along with Wheeler's commentary, which read, "This is 100% true. Men playing video games is peak unattractive, beyond red flag, like deal breaker zone. It's weird so many dudes don't get this." You want to know what I don't get? Why it's taken me so long to hear about the wonderful sponsor of today's video, Manukora. I have spent most of my adult life in search of sugar. I'm kind of like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings about it.
Oh my god.
Precious. And the older I get, the more that I realize sugar's not that good for you. But what if I told you there was a sweet alternative that tasted good and was good for you? Well, there is, and it's called Manukora. Manukora honey is pure.
Honestly, that just sounds really fun to say, honestly. That just sounds so much fun to say, Manukara. Oh, made in New Zealand. Ooh. I don't think I'd wanna deal with an import fee, though. I do like honey.
Single origin Manuka honey found only in New Zealand. It's rich, creamy, and supercharged with unique antioxidants and prebiotics. It actually has 3 times more than your average honey. So yeah, take that, normal honey. Manukora honey supports immunity, helps with digestion, boosts energy, and is great for assisting with inflammation. It's also this beautiful golden color, and it's a
But will it help pay my rent?
definite game changer if you're anything like me and use honey in tea or on sandwiches. I also like how my little starter pack has this cute little spoon and these honey
Look at that
sticks,
cute
which could be
spoon.
completely cool if you're munching on the go. Best of all, Manukora honey has a natural antibacterial compound called MGO that is only found in Manuka honey. The higher the MGO count, the higher the levels of nutrients and antioxidants. And Manukora has some of the highest MGO honey on the market. And if you don't believe me, your Manukora lid has this little QR code that you can scan to trace your honey and all its unique information, which I think is pretty cool. So if you too want to embrace a good sweet thing, then click the link in the description or head over to manukora.com/Sydney for $25 off when you buy a starter kit. After a huge amount of pushback, Wheeler followed up with a few additional posts, including another tweet
Oh
where
boy,
a
here we
woman
go.
wrote, "Women don't dislike video games because they're geeky, we dislike them because they're antisocial and consumption-based. Like if a woman said TikTok or online shopping was her hobby. Hobbies should include actually doing, making, or learning something."
Okay. One problem with this, right? I have seen way too many. I've seen plenty of females get shit on for like having a hobby like shopping or even just window shopping where you don't even buy anything like. And the thing is, like I can see that a lot of this here is from someone who doesn't really dabble into this. Because another thing you might not know, I am part of an esports community called Merc. And let me tell you, they talk so much. You wouldn't think they're antisocial with how much they talk with each other. Like, it's insane. Also, if you're like Call of Duty Black Ops 6, I know they're looking for people and they're really chill. It's a really cool community. You should totally come hang out sometime with us. So, like, a hobby should involve actually doing, making, or learning something. Like, yeah, but the thing is, learning something is cool. But thing is, let people enjoy things. If I want to have a hobby of collecting rocks, I'm going to collect rocks, and you're not going to tell me I can't. If I want to collect books so I can read them, I absolutely will, and there's nothing you can do about it. Come on, you are being... This is so obtuse. So following this path, does this mean that, like, hiking isn't a hobby? That, well, I guess I don't technically follow what you're doing, but, like, still. I guess I just want to be honest with you, I don't understand what's so hard about just letting people enjoy things. Because the thing is, like, yes, single player, like, yes, some games are not communicative and they don't have a lot of communication and they're single player games, and you know what, that's fine too. But you are not going to come and be like, oh, they're this and they're this as an overall statement. Because the thing is, I know a lot of guys and a lot of females too that they don't play games that are like story driven, that they will play games that involve communication, you know. And I don't know if any of you guys know this, but some of these things keep your hand-eye coordination sharp, or even just keep your reaction time somewhat better too. But what do I know? I'm just a girl on the internet. That's so freaking stupid. I can't believe it.
thing. Last time I checked, gaming is doing something? What is this? What am I even reading here? Doubling down
Same.
even further, Wheeler also wrote that video games are sedentary, consumptive, fantasy steeped in immorality that have serious negative real-world side effects on the men who
Oh
play
my
them.
God, here we
This
go.
tweet was very long, so I'm just going to summarize the generality of it, which was that video games are net negative on society based on the fact that they reportedly lead to aggressive behavior, desensitization to violence, anxiety, mood disorders, and so on and so forth. She also asserted
You mean problems that people have even without playing video games? This is gonna be a long video.
that women are attracted to men based on a man's ability to protect, provide, produce, and procreate. Hobbies that illustrate that ability
has
are
to be
attractive to
trad
women.
wife.
Hobbies that do not are not. Not to be a jerk,
This has
at
to
least
be a
not
trad wife.
intentionally, but isn't reading sedentary? And isn't buying random female crap for your house consumptive?
Yes.
Do you want to go and have a conversation with the immoral smut-reading ladies over on Book Talk? Would you like to have a word? I really don't mean to be so sarcastic about all of this. It just really
This is
irritates me.
great.
Of course, the icing on the cake here is the entire live stream that Wheeler decided to make about this
Oh my God, you're not serious. She didn't. They did not have a live stream. They did not. They did not. They did not. Tell me they did not. Oh God, but they did. I really hope they got ripped to shreds.
topic, addressing the blowback that she'd received and saying that lots of people were unkind to her about it and she didn't like that, which honestly, like, yeah, fair enough. This video is really long and she burned through a lot of points very quickly and we don't have time to unpack them, but I overall felt really irritated watching Wheeler's live stream, and my takeaway was just generally, tell me you've never played video games without telling me you've never played video games. She again brought up that it makes people more desensitized and prone to violence because apparently we're resurrecting 90s talking points.
Oh my
I don't know.
Lord.
I thought we were over this. Look, I don't know Liz personally, and so I don't want anyone to perceive this as me attacking her because she seems like a nice lady, but I do
Fair.
find her opinion and this extended opinion really frustrating. I think there's a trend on the right side of politics where some conservatives in particular like to fully reject and stomp on really important cultural and entertainment-based mediums. And
Fair.
even if the intention behind that is a noble one, I still think it comes across as really controlling and fun policing. Listen, even people with daddy issues don't want to be parented this hard. I mean, they do want something hard, but it's not
It's not that.
parenting. All of this to say, in the long run, I don't think it's very helpful, and I'm sure some of you will disagree with that, and that's okay. Feel free to scream at me in the comments.
No! No!
Anyway, about a week later, another video popped up where a woman called Bex from the radio show 102 Philly
Oh boy, here
was
we go.
similarly articulating why she doesn't like men playing video games. She said that it was lazy and generally unproductive.
But the whole gaming thing,
What's the problem? Jacqueline has this big problem too. Because
it's just lazy. It feels like unless you're getting paid, and there's a line, right? Like, it's cool if you want to do it every so often, but to me, I'm like, go educate. Like, go do something productive.
but what is the problem? Like, you know, Jacqueline has a big problem with it too. Whenever she hears the PlayStation start up, like I gotta
Here
hear
we
the huffing and
go.
puffing.
Yeah.
But if I were to just have TV on, you'd be on TikTok as it is, not
Because
paying
it's
attention.
not that-
So why does it bother you?
Because it's not the distraction of me being on TikTok and us watching TV. It's what you could be doing with that time.
There it is, and that's it. I knew it.
It's
I knew
what
it.
you could-
You women want to task us so bad
no.
that you're so pissed
no,
that we're taking
no,
time
no.
from doing something.
No.
Wait a minute, you're enjoying things? You have time to do this video
see,
game?
here's the thing
Ah,
is-
here's all the things you
But
could be
here's
doing.
the thing, you're enjoying it, but you could also be planning something nice for us. You know?
Oh yeah, but you know, you would just be there just scrolling on TikTok on your phone. It's like I can't wrap my head around this. No, my mother was the same way too. booted up the Xbox to go play some Black Ops 2 with the homies. Booted up. Next thing I know, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? I just wanted to be a kid. Just like, genuinely, I just wonder if like people just don't like people enjoying things. Cause like the thing is, like, eventually though, like, we came, like, me and my folks, we came to an understanding where I would basically have been like, hey, I'm gonna go do this. Is there anything you need to that needs to get done before? And then we had that mutual understanding that if she said no, and mind you, I was in high school at this point. But if I said no, she said no, that anything that she asked for, unless it is like desperately important, would not be done until after I had my time with friends and all that playing games, because I got sick a lot in junior year or when I was playing Black Ops and stuff, so yeah. But just, you could theorize on the what ifs of this or that. Oh, well, you could be doing this, or you could be doing that. You wanna know what else you could be doing? You could be planning shit for yourself. You could be planning a date that you both could do. Yeah, sure, he could do, but you know what? So can you. So can you. Hell, Maya said I was exhausted the other night. And she was like, oh, well, I'm exhausted. I like to do this thing, but I don't really know. And you know what? I planned the thing. And you know what? That's fine. But this is not a... I mean, no hate to anyone in these videos, but I'm feeling my bullshitometer starting to go off really bad right now because I'm losing because I feel myself losing it.
No, like,
Like I mentioned, this is not the first time that this type of criticism has come up. A couple years ago, 3 more women got a lot of heat online for making fun of men who game, with one of the women even suggesting there's a correlation between gaming and the being bad in the bedroom or having small male genitalia.
I'll be honest with you, not if I think of the top 10 best dicks I've ever had, they didn't play video games. So I'm convinced video games are for mediocre dicks.
Well, I grew up as a gamer, so it was okay with it. That was quite alright with me. I got excited
I don't know
too.
what grown man is spending that much time playing video
There's
games.
a lot of grown men spending a lot of time.
And
on
I don't
this
think that
bullshit.
they're
a lot.
I don't think that you could be a great partner or a great lover as a grown man spending time playing video games.
If you're like
This is such a weird statement. Do you always judge the appropriateness of a hobby based on man pickles and their performance? Is this a legitimate metric? Why are people like this? I mean it. Put me in the cannon and launch me to Jupiter. So I have a very vested interest in this topic, both as a woman and as a person who plays video games. So I do feel that it is pretty important to come to the defense of male gamers, and I guess just really any gamer in general. Because if the criticisms that I've so far highlighted in this video are anything to go by, I think people's perceptions of this industry and those who enjoy games are completely off base. And I think it's generally wild to say that gaming is not a hobby, and if it is, it's one that's overall unattractive to women. Because I would argue in many, many cases that is not true. I mean, first and foremost, the gaming industry as a whole has changed dramatically over the last few decades, and video games have accelerated in scale and quality during that time too. Rather than games appealing to a small portion of people, now anyone anywhere can play them, which is why the industry has become so enormous. There are so many different stories being told, so many different ideas being explored, and let's remember, importantly, that the amount of women playing games has also grown more and more and is continuing to do so. And no, Animal Crossing and The Sims don't count as gaming. Please stop this. Point being, video games themselves and the gamers who play them
I will still happily play my Animal Crossing. I've never played The Sims though, but you leave my Animal Crossing out of it.
In all forms, and I don't think it's fair to tar everyone with the same brush. With that said, I do understand why some people, some being the operative word, find gaming to be an unattractive hobby, and I think there's a number of reasons for that. Number one, when most of us millennials were growing up, which is what our friend Liz Wheeler is, we were only really then starting to see sort of a shift in the way that people viewed men and video games. Until this point, I think it's fair to say that gamers were largely associated with the basement-dwelling dorks who played World of Warcraft from dawn until dusk. And whether that view is true or not, whether it's fair or not, that's what was portrayed predominantly in media, entertainment, and by all the kids, all those boys that we went to high school with. I can actually testify to this because I fully remember my older brother sitting in the office all day playing WoW. And sometimes painting Warhammer. I think he still paints Warhammer. To be completely fair to my brother, because, you know, he will probably watch this video, he is in fact the reason why I like gaming at all. And I also remember sitting next to him, watching him play Spyro, because little sister. Now that I'm thinking about it, I also remember his LAN parties with his nerd friends. So really, really love aging myself there. Anyway,
Yeah, that whole thing just reminds me of how a lot of my family, well, not like my mom or my dad, but my aunt and uncles, they all played EverQuest, which eventually I did get into playing EverQuest too, eventually. And then some stuff happened, and they went to playing World of Warcraft. So I think, and even when I was younger, my dad, he had some older consoles. Like he had he had a Nintendo. I'm not sure which one it is. I want to say it was just your regular Nintendo. And then we also had like a Super Nintendo Entertainment System. That when this was when and this is probably like, I'm not sure how little I was, because I was still like really early in school. I don't have the greatest memory from then. And we played games and stuff, and it was always more of a even like single player stuff. It was always just like a bonding experience. It wasn't about all this other stuff. It was just, we found this way of bonding. So I find this taste really, I can't understand it. Like I'm trying to make sense of it in my brain, but I can't. This is so much. Like, what the heck? If you made it this far, I'd love to hear what kind of games you played in your childhood, or your games you're currently playing, or looking forward to in the upcoming year. Wait. One of these days, I hope. Actually, I don't think I'd ever want to understand how they came to that point, because I don't get it. I don't think I'd want to be at that point in misery.
This type of visual and this messaging has definitely been ingrained in a lot of us because it's also what we were exposed to in pop culture. And it's probably why a bunch of elder millennials and people who are older than elder millennials especially view gamers through this lens. Mm-hmm. Actually, hilariously, when I was researching for this video, I found out that the attractiveness of male gamers and how much they game is still being studied because I guess this is a stereotype that never dies. The second reason, and I think this is more applicable across the board, is it is unattractive to come home to your man sitting on his butt all day playing video games. On the weekends, gaming. All day, gaming. every single weekend gaming, can't pull himself away for long enough to spend time with you or to be a father or a husband or whatever. When it becomes an addiction that consumes you, yes, that is a problem, and that is unattractive. And this is the primary criticism that I find online when it comes to men and video games.
When my husband and I first got married, he was addicted to video games. So if your spouse is addicted to video games or sports or anything, listen to this.
But the thing is, if your man or a man doesn't have a gaming addiction, then what precisely is unattractive about this interest? At least in my experience, the women that I have come into contact with or that I'm friends with or that are in my family and whatever don't really view a man's interest in video games as a good or bad thing. What's most important is how he balances his gaming with his life and its many obligations. For example, back in 2020, a TikToker called Alyssa Nguyen actually had to come out and clarify that her gamer husband did indeed take care of her and her kids after she began uploading compilations of her bringing him his nightly dinners. She wrote, "He does all his chores, daddy duties, and husband duties before getting on." One person even asked Nguyen if she was happy with the amount of time her husband gamed. Nguyen responded, "It doesn't bother me at all. He plays a couple hours a night after he gets home from a long shift." And
yeah, it's the addiction versus just hobby. Because that's the thing though, like, yeah, you're addicted, like, sure, you might have some issues. And the thing is, some of us have addictive personalities, some of us don't. So when, you know, we have to scale that accordingly to ourselves because of that. But yeah, like, if you can do even, because like, you can be addicted to a lot of things. Like, it doesn't strictly have to be gaming. It could be writing, it could be reading, it could be a lot of things. It could be cooking. Like, this thing is, anything can be detrimental and be considered unattractive if it's preventing you from your own words are hard, if it's preventing you from doing and living and taking care of your own hobbies, your obligations, if it's making you put off work, then we got a problem. But moderation is key. And I think everyone wants to look at the bagel. Oh, they're only doing this or they're only doing that. And it's like playing video games for a couple hours, watching YouTube for a couple hours a day, and then, you know, it's not gonna hurt you. Like, this is insane. This is just absolutely insane.
honestly, I think this comment crystallizes a broader point. A lot of people, not only men, use video games as a way to alleviate anxiety, to decompress, to de-stress after a long day or a long week or whatever the case may be. And I can actually personally relate to this, and I've actually said this in other videos, where I find nothing more enjoyable after a particularly stressful day than jumping into whatever game I'm playing and just like hacking monsters to death, because it's cathartic and it stops me from committing murder. That is a joke, Mr. FBI man. I am making a joke. Jokes aside, in addition to being cathartic, it is a good form of escapism. I watched one particular TikTok where a guy was describing escapism in video games as a bad thing, using it as an indicator of depression or a person who hates their life, and that very well might be the case sometimes. This just reiterates that men yearn for the mines. But again, why do people frown on this type of escapism, but not when it comes in the form of books or films or television shows? I genuinely feel like there's such an unfair double standard when it comes to gaming that isn't equally applied to other entertainment mediums.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you all to stop that. In my opinion, the bottom line here is that gaming is, in fact, a legitimate hobby. And I will argue till I am blue in the face with whoever here I need to argue with that many of us ladies would much rather a guy who games in moderation than one who is down at the bar or at the club every single weekend getting drunk. If you are a man and you enjoy video games, that does not make you unattractive. And frankly, it can actually be a really nice opportunity for bonding with your spouse or girlfriend. And I say this as someone who freaking loves couch co-ops. Like, I recently played the Untitled Goose Game and it was unironically a lot of fun. I have to stay away from the platformers though because I just let everyone down. People who make the claim
I don't know if you have a significant other, Sydney, and if some chance you watch it or some other like couple that likes gaming watches this, I strongly suggest playing It Takes Two. And then I think it was recently announced at the Game Awards, but maybe Split Fiction when that comes out too. I think it'd be a really good time.
That gaming is antisocial and will turn men into murder factories genuinely don't seem to understand the nature of gaming and how community-based and collaborative it often is these days. A lot of modern games have a ton of multiplayer features, and it allows you to do like, you know, the teamwork. In a time where people are super disconnected, the gaming world is actually pretty great at helping people make friends and create communities. I'll say as well that there are apparently a bunch of other measurable benefits to playing games, like improvements to cognitive functioning, problem solving, impulse control, and so on and so forth, but I don't want to get into it, so I don't know, I guess I'll link some of these in the description and you can read them in your own time. There are definitely way more things to add about this specific topic, but the one that I want to leave you with, the last thought that I have here, is that I definitely think that there is an online trend where people can't stand to see men doing things that make them happy.
Men have video games and sports. What do women have?
I actually see this a lot on Twitter, but with relation to women, where people will post a video of women just doing something fun and silly and goofy and enjoying themselves, and then this onslaught of comments and responses are mad that the women are having fun. I see that.
Just let people enjoy things. It's not hard. Don't be a dick.
A lot here with this issue, and I absolutely hate it when people do it to both of the sexes. Just shh. Let people enjoy things. Personally, I'm really glad that gaming has become such a positive outlet for so many people. And as far as unattractive interests go, I think it's worth remembering that when it comes to hobbies and relationships, any hobby can become an obstacle, much in the same way that it can also be an asset. If you enjoy something or have a hobby or have a special interest that gets in between you and somebody else, or it is an all-consuming thing that pushes everybody out of your life, well, yeah, I mean, that's a problem. But if you can take an interest or a hobby or a thing that you love and share it with somebody else in an engaging way, or in a way for yourself that passes time but doesn't fill it, I think that's really positive, and honestly, I think that's really all any of us actually want. In the end, if gaming is a thing that you can share with your wife or girlfriend, a thing that you can use to decompress, or even something that has helped you build a really strong community with friendships and positive experiences, no woman in their right mind would consider that a problem. And if they do, I think that says much more about that woman than the gamer himself. Now, on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Manukora using the link in the description. I unironically love this honey, so I'm really excited about this sponsorship, and I hope you guys love it as well if you decide to give it a crack. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Is gaming, in fact, unattractive? Are you one of these ladies who just thinks, yuck, I'm not interested, I'm not about this, this is terrible? Are you a guy who thinks it's unattractive and terrible? Are you somebody who really likes gaming and likes to share that with your loved ones? Are you somebody who maybe is on the addiction side of things and you can see how bad and damaging all of this can be? Do you think that the commentary around gaming is fair? Is it unfair? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them. I really like hearing your feedback and you guys make me laugh. Of course, if you have any video suggestions,
That was, woof. That was a lot. I was starting to think I wouldn't get through that because, oh my god. I will definitely be leaving my my full thoughts on on her video below, but oh my god, that was so much. And I think it just comes down to there's a lot of miserable people on the internet. There's a lot of miserable people in our society that they just don't let people enjoy things. Do I think it makes them do I think it makes people unattractive overall? No. There are a lot more things that make people unattractive. Like for me, personalities. Certain personality traits are instant no's for me, but you know, that's me. Anyways, love the video. Definitely going to we may get more of her content on the channel at some point. What are your thoughts though? I'd love to hear them. And as always, and we are, as I said earlier, currently the Tiltify is open for our Wounded Warrior Project fundraiser. It will be open until Sunday which is the 22nd. And then the goal is 200. But you know, if we go bigger than that, that's cool too. As always, make sure y'all take care of yourself, stay hydrated, and I shall catch you guys in the next one. Take care.